Hello and welcome back to another video, and in today's video we are cleaning out the calf pen here. You can see the calf there and his little creep gate that only he can go in and out of, so he can go into the cow and get his milk, or he can eat silage from the barriers out there, and then he can come in here, lie down on his mat, and we're also giving him calf crunch. But every 2 to 3 days we'll do clean out his pen here, so clean out the little floor here and anything on the mat. So we have our shovel and our scraper there. So what I do is I'll open up the creep gate and I'll shove everything in onto the slats, and then I'll shove everything down then in between the slats down into the pit. Another way we could do it, but it's just a lot of carry on, is to untie this gate here, open that gate out there, then open this gate and shove everything out to the passageway here, close everything back up to where you see it as now, and then we can get our box, or we can leave it pile up there for a couple of days, then get our 135 and transfer box and load it in that way. But you're just leaving stuff there for a couple of days, which I'm not really a fan of. So what I usually do is, again, open up the creep gate, push everything into the slats, and then shove them down in between the slats. That way I'm not leaving piles and piles of poo lying on the slats. I'll try and get rid of most of it by shoving them down in between the slats, and then the cow then will clean the rest of it herself. When she's walking around, she'll trample it down with her hooves. So yeah, anyways, I'll set up the camera and we'll get to cleaning. Alright, you can see the calf there sticking his head out, or her head out, and the pen, with the camera is picking it up efficiently or not, is relatively clean. Obviously it's not spotless clean, but it's better than what it was. So you obviously seen me there. I opened up the gate, I used the yard scraper to scrape out any of the heaviest stuff out onto the slats, and then any of the lighter, stickier stuff that was stuck onto the ground or the mat, I used the shovel, the edge of it here, the sharp bit, using it as a scraper to scrape any other stuff that was on the ground out, and obviously pushed it out onto the slats. Then you seen me with the shovel getting all the heaviest stuff down in between the slats, so it's not just a big lump of poo lying down on top of the slats. I shoved them down between the slats down into the tank below, and whatever is left the cow will trample it down herself. Also, you seen me scraping the gate here, because any poo that's lying on a gate, any gate for that matter, cow poo, if it's sitting on a gate for a long period of time, that gate will tend to rust, which is like a lot of gates in cattle sheds. They just tend to rust away and rot, and the lifespan of them is sort of decreased at that, and then you're trying to fix them and repair them and whatnot. But if you keep on top of them, keep them clean of cow poo, they'll probably last that little bit longer. So you see me there with the shovel, get back, You've seen me there with the shovel just scraping any of the cow poo that was lying on top of it and also on the bottom there, just to get rid of it and stop it from rusting away too quickly. So yeah, that's basically that. The pen is nice and clean. Calf has a little bit of calf crunch there left. So the calf is grand, the cow is grand, the drinker is clean. Sometimes she might do her toilet duties and she might do it in the drinker, so we might have to get rid of any of that stuff that's in the drinker, but it's not all the time, thank God. So yeah, we'll put these shovels and scrapers back, and that should do the calf another 2 or 3 days. Well, actually, now that I'm here and I have the stuff at hand, I might scoop any of this stuff that's outside. I'll throw them into the schlats there, and then any stuff that's lying on top of the barriers, I'll just shove them in with the shovel as well. You can see just a lot of stuff lying down here, basically just to keep the place clean and tidy and all that. So I'll set up the camera again and we'll get to doing more cleaning. Now, everything seems to be relatively more cleaner than what it was, as you can see. And the shovel is just isn't strong enough to scrape off because the bits that are up here are quite dry and really stuck to it, but we do have a tool for that, but it's not really a big deal until some of these go out onto grass. We can start then cleaning these up a bit more properly, power washing, scraping it down with an actual scraper we have. Just the shovel we have here, the actual shovely bit, this bit here actually isn't made out of steel or something. I don't know exactly what the material is, but it's not steel. It's covered in stuff, but it's not, I don't know what, it's like a plasticky type thing. It's not steel or aluminium or stainless steel or anything like that, or galvanized. It's not steel at all, whatever it is. So it just isn't strong enough to scrape all that. But we still have a full shed of cattle at the moment. We're hoping to get a couple of them out. We're hoping to get the bullocks out, the weanling bullocks, and we're hoping to get these heifers out. Now, the weanling bullocks are going over in our field that's beside our silage field. We call it the Far Hill. Our silage field is located, here, let's say, and then the field that the bullocks are going to is just beside it. So that's where they're going. Now, out of these, excluding this one, because she's a bit small for bulling yet. I don't think she's either just coming on a year old, or well, she'd be a weanling as well. She'd be similar to them bullocks over there. But 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 2, 6. There's 2 out of the 6 heifers that are bulled, and they seem to have stuck because they haven't came a bulling again. So hopefully, fingers crossed, they have stuck. But there's 4 of them that we still need to bull. And obviously a lot of viewers that watch me know that we like to have our cows or heifers or whatever calving in November, December, January, February and March at the latest. Now we're coming into May, so if you go 9 months from May, it's May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December, January, February. It'll be February 2025 if they get into May. If we get them bulled into May, which would be sort of perfect for us. But, you know, we'd want to definitely have these heifers bulled by June. Any later than that, you know, it's a waste of time really. So we have grazing bag manure bought on that blue trailer there. We have a couple of bags of it spread. We have them spread on the fields that we want the heifers going to. So I'll show you actually where the what field the heifers are going to. But we got, what was it, we got 2 ton of grazing bag manure for the grazing fields. So now we didn't spread the field that the heifers are going to is down there, so I'll show you in a minute through that gate there. But we spread 3 bags of this fertilizer down there. It's about 6, 7, maybe an 8 acre field at a stretch, probably 6 or 7. And we used our trustworthy, reliable 135 tractor and our bag manure shaker. Now the setting we had it set to, you can see these little grooves, those little notches, and that clips into it. We have the wood there because it secures, that wood sort of just secures it in place and stops it from shaking and moving, falling downwards. So these notches here, I think we came down 6 notches from the top. That must be set to somewhat 6 notches or so. So if you pull down that handle, you can kind of see, maybe it was down another 2 or 3 notches because we weren't spreading it over hectically, but yeah, it might have been down a bit more. There might have been a bigger gap there. So that's that. There definitely was a bigger gap, but we weren't spreading it over hectically. We got the 135 and we put the shaker onto it, and then we put 3 full bags of that bag manure into it, and those 3 bags done down that field there, which I'll show you now. Okay, this is the field we shook it on. It's currently Monday the 29th of April, so we would have shook the bag manure on this on the Saturday the 27th of April. It is a bit windy now, so the microphone might be a bit sensitive to it, but we shook the 3 bag manure on this field on the 27th of April, which is a Saturday. It's now the Monday. So yeah, we put 3 bags on this field altogether. So we'll have to leave it a couple of weeks, although you can kind of see that there's a small bit of picking of grass in it, which is nice to see, even with the fairly bad weather we got the last couple of months and weeks. But hopefully that will change and pick up leading into May. But yeah, so the plan is the heifers will go into here in a couple of weeks once the bag manure has settled and the grass has started to grow. But I think we'll only give them half of it, so we'll get an electric tape and we'll split it in half, and we'll only let them into half of it first, because again there's only 6 of them. Well, 7 of them in total, but 1 of them is too young and too small and too light to bull, so we leave her out of it. But the reason we want the heifers in this specific field until we get them all bulled and until we're 100% sure that they've stayed in calf is because once we spot them a bulling, so you know the farm is just there beyond those trees there. Once they start bulling and we catch them, we can easily bring them in with male, because obviously we're feeding them male now that when they're in the shed. We'll probably give them a bucket every day as well when they're out in the field as well. But as you can see, if we get a bucket, they should follow us down here. That won't be put back up. But that's why we want to put them in this field. Obviously that gate would be closed along that gap there, but we can put them into that pen, that gate there and that gate there, so it just opens up and creates like a runway or a blockage. We'll run them up there, they'll go in through that little jutty out bit there, and they'll go up the crush and into the pen. And then we can sort of separate them. We'll take, otherwise we'll separate them out here. The one that we want to bull will be when they go into that pen there, we'll try and separate them and only bring up the heifer we want, or we'll bring the lot of them up and separate them up there and bring down there whatever heifers we don't want, and keep the heifer that we want to bull up in the pen in the shed there. So that's that. That's why we want to keep them in this field until they're all bulled and there's no repeats. Other than that, they'll be staying in this field until they sort of eat the grass, I guess, and then they'll probably be moved elsewhere. Now the bullocks, it's the same situation with the bullocks. We'll have to travel over the road, but I think I won't do this anyway. I won't do it in this video. Again, the fields that the bullocks are going to, we want to fence that off as well and only give them half. Now, we didn't spread any bag manure over in that field yet. Whether or not we're going to be spreading bag manure in that field, I'm not 100% sure. But there's a nice bit of picking of grass over in that field. There's more grass over in the field that the bullocks are going to than there is in this field. The only thing is, there's a few fences that need some new stakes, so we'll have to get that done. But also, there's a tree. It hasn't fell, but it's leaning sort of way over the wire. So I'll just use this fence for example. There's basically like a tree, and it's leaning very much over the wire. So we'll have to get a couple of men at that job at some stage, probably during the weekend. So we can throw a strap around the tree, tie the other end to the tractor, have the tractor pulling in a direction to stop that when we do cut the tree with the chainsaw, it won't fall in on top of the fence. The tractor will pull it out and away from the fence, so we don't do damage to the fence. Something like that anyways. But yeah, I think that's basically it really. I probably should have went over to the field and shown you, but I have the car up in the house and I'm just really not bothered to get it. But yeah, that's that. Now, all this is clean and the calf creep is clean, and you know the plans for the heifers and the weanling bullocks. So that is going to be the end of today's video. You can see the calf there lying down. I know a lot of people do be asking how is the calf, give us an update on the calf and all that sort of stuff. So there she is, lying down, probably full after getting a dosing of milk off the cow there probably. And there she is. But yeah, that is going to be the end of today's video. Thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Don't forget to check out my merch. The link to that will be down in the description. And I'll see you in my next video very soon. Take care.